On deck, we got Matt Payton. But coming to the stage right now, y'all make it loud for E1.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Yeah, earlier this year, scientists they reported that for the first time ever, they documented 2 humpback whales, male humpback whales, having sex. You know? Yeah, Hollywood's already making a movie about it. It's gonna be called Humpback Mountain. Yeah, you know, women take forever to freaking orgasm, right? It's crazy, right? You would think, you know, when a man or a woman have sex, they would orgasm at the same time, right? Not even close, right? So you gotta do all these things and shit, you gotta go down on her stuff. It's fucking hard, you know? Oh man, I forgot the joke. Alright, I forgot that. I will go through that later. Alright, it's crazy how languages change over time, right? You know, nowadays if a guy comes up to you and tells you he's gonna blow your brains out, you're not sure whether to run away or pull your pants down. I was watching this documentary the other day about General Armstrong Custer, right? Custer. And his famous last stand at the Little Bighorn. I was like, Little Bighorn? That's gotta be a euphemism for penis, right? Little Bighorn. It's like, here's my bighorn, and here's my little bighorn. Yeah, dogs are so full of shit, right? You know, even back in the 20s, right, people didn't trust eating hamburgers back then. And so when White Castle came out, he ordered, hired a bunch of doctors and shit to eat hamburgers in his restaurant. And people were all watching like, oh, well, I guess hamburgers are healthy, right? Hamburgers aren't fucking healthy. And in the 40s and 50s, these doctors to sell cigarettes on the newspaper ads and fucking magazines, and even TV commercials. They'd have doctors be like, oh, I'm a doctor, I smell camels. That's such bullshit, right? Because they're doctors, they know better. And then the newest medical scam going around nowadays is that whole prostate rectal exam thing. Yeah, it's fucking bullshit. I've heard 100 different prostate rectal exam stories, right? They all end the same way. They didn't find anything. You know, if it's so important, why don't you show me what to look for, and then I'll stick my own finger up my own ass, right? How about that, right? But oh no, we can't have that, can we? Why? Because you have to have a fucking doctor's degree to find bubble up your butt? I'm telling you, it's not, my intestines aren't the only thing that's full of shit. You know, the NFL has one Asian player. He's a kicker. Did you not find a more racist position to put this guy in, you know? Oh, he's gonna come out there with a karate uniform? Yeah, a couple weeks ago, OJ died. That was pretty crazy, right? What was even crazier is the way he crashed the internet. Yeah, the second he died, basically half of America got online and was like, who the fuck is OJ Simpson? I was watching this Bigfoot documentary the other day. It struck me as how dedicated these Bigfoot hunters were, you know? They're like so devoted to something that might not even be real. Like comedians in their careers. Yeah, last April 4th, it's a new national holiday. It's now National Burrito Day. That's pretty cool, you know, I love burritos. And the very next day, April 5th, is now National Toilet Clogging Day. And you see that boat that crashed into that bridge over in Baltimore a couple weeks back? That's pretty crazy, right? Yeah. Crashed into the Francis Scott Key Bridge. It's kind of ironic, right? It's like, oh, say, can you see? There's a giant fucking boat coming! Yeah, they said the boat came from Singapore. I was like, ah, crap. Asian driver, you know? Yeah, in the news they said the boat weighed 200 million pounds. That's pretty damn heavy, right? It was actually even heavier before. It was actually 300 million pounds. But my ex-wife, she got off the boat right before I hit the bridge. And you see the Oscars a couple weeks back? It's pretty cool, right? And I was watching it towards the end, I was getting excited. I was like, hey look, they're bringing back The Mummy. But then I saw, I was like, oh no, that's just Al Pacino. Yeah, I was in the United States Army, you know? It was pretty cool. It's kind of weird though, being the only Asian person. And every day, people were just looking at me like, are we supposed to shoot this guy? It's cool being in the Army, you know? You get some good benefits. I'd say the best benefit, though, is the ability to give old men hard-ons. Yeah, old men, they love hearing Army stories. I guess because it makes them feel younger or gives them hope for the future or something. Like, if I meet some old man at a park and I start telling them Army stories, I'm telling him, come all over me. I know some anti-gay cultures are actually quite gay. Like Arab culture, for instance, right? Like, they're pretty notorious for being harsh on their LGBTQ, yet Arab men openly hold hands in the street. You know, how hypocritical is that, right? They're like, don't act gay! La 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 la. And Russians, too. You know, they're like world famous for being violent towards their LGBTQ. But I was watching the Olympics once, and this Russian gymnast, after he did his jump thing, instead of high-fiving his teammate, he kissed him on the mouth. And it wasn't just a peck either. They were like really going at it. Like, we don't tolerate the homosexual in Russia. Come, Vladimir. Yeah, strange. You know, I noticed that men in other cultures, they seem to enjoy a level of intimacy with each other that we just kind of lack out here. And I have seen it a little bit, you know, because I was in the army, right? You know, the army is very anti-gay because it's so gay. Yeah, you're constantly like in these situations where you're like surrounded by other dudes and you're like mostly naked or sometimes just totally naked. Like the shower is a perfect example, right? There used to be this one guy, he'd be in the shower every time with rock hard boner. You know, at the time, the policy towards gay people in the army was don't ask, don't tell. Nobody had to ask this guy if he was gay or not. He's all knocking over shampoo bottles and shit. Yeah, shocking, you know, you walk into the shower room, you're like, what the fuck? At ease, soldier. Yeah, in the army, you're supposed to be hardcore, but not that hard, not that core. Yeah, I had a really bad haircut the other day. Oh, it was crazy, you know? You ever had a haircut so bad people start treating you differently? They're like, this guy must have a learning disability or something. Look at that fucking thing. Yeah, I was watching this other documentary about World War II, and then they were like all complaining, right, the English soldiers, about how American soldiers were all taking their women and stuff. They even had their own little saying. They're like, oh, the problem with the Yanks is that they're overpaid, oversexed, and overhealed. And they'd be all laughing and shit, like, ho, 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 ho. Like, yeah, would you prefer the Nazis, you ungrateful bastards? All right, let me tell you a story. How much time do I have? I'll tell you this one joke. Okay, now how about this? Yeah, you know, I'm Asian, you know. Asian people, we love Jewish people, right? Yeah, we're like, sensei, please teach us. You know, but I notice Jewish people don't like us too much, right? And I think I know why. It's because of our eyes, you know. Because if you look, it's not that my eyes are slanted or small. It's that Asian people, we have an extra layer of skin over our eyelids. It's basically a foreskin, right? And you know how Jewish people feel about foreskins. So. Yeah, you know, did you see that Didi raid a couple weeks back? Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Wales, you've got to see it, it's crazy. Like, they didn't use SWAT team or, you know, cops or anything. It was like fucking Zero Dark 30 up in there and shit. They had a drone flying around, fucking, like SEAL Team 6 with fucking assault weapons and shit. It's crazy. It's like, what the fuck, you know? This guy's a music producer. He's not John Wick. Yeah, there's still, you know, some racism going on. Like, anybody can, you know, can be racist, right? Like, a while back, I tried joining the NAACP, and they were like, nah, man, nah. I was like, what, you know? Asians are people of color too, aren't we? And he was like, nah, man, nah. Okay, I'll just tell you this story. All right, this guy is special forces, right? It's a special forces test. And it starts off with like 100 people. But then over a couple days, they whittle it down to like the last 3 applicants, right? And they're like, all right, there's a final test. In this next room, your wife is sitting at a table, and on the table is a gun. Pick up that gun, shoot her in the head, you're in, right? And so the first guy, he's only been married a couple months, and he goes in there, and he's in there less than a minute, and he comes right back out, and he hands him the gun, he's like, no, I can't do this, I'm sorry. And they're like, all right, next guy, right? He's been married for about 5 years, and so he's in there for about 5 minutes, and he comes out, it's like, no, I can't do this, you know. Third guy goes in there, right away they hear this like scuffling noise. And he comes back all disheveled and shit. They're like, what happened? Like, someone took some asshole took the bullets out of this fucking gun. I choked that bitch to death. All right, that's about it. I'll end it. Hey,
Keep going, everybody! My guess. This is